Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of The Culture Clash. I'm your host Luis Villalón, and yes, I am so excited. Not only because it's Friday, not only because we got brand new lights, and look at me, I look pretty, don't I? But I have such a fabulous co-host with me. Never in a dream would I think I will be sitting here with her. She's a 7-time Emmy Award winner. That's right, 7 times. She is also an icon in Cincinnati, and if you live in the tri-state, you have probably seen her beautiful smile once or twice in the last 29 years, maybe. Please give it a big, big round of applause to Tanya O'Rourke.
My pleasure.
Yes. Hi, Tanya. How are you?
I'm great. I am with you, Luis, who is like the most beautiful man on earth. So here I am,
God.
thrilled to be on your podcast.
You have no idea. This is such a big, 180, 360, I don't even know what it is. You have raised so many of us here in the Cincinnati area.
You know what that means? That just means I'm old.
No, it does not. Okay, here's the thing. As adults, we always want to look at the negative side. You can look at the fact that you have been on television for 29 years.
Yeah.
And who can say that? Not many people.
In one spot, too, pretty much. So 29 years in one spot. It'll be 30 years coming up. It's kind of... It does blow my mind after a while because I grew up watching local news, and our family was a family that watched local news, and I really thought these people were really cool. Like, wow, they know so much. And here I am, that person, and I will have people come up to me now like, I grew up watching you, and I'll think, wow.
No, it's such a beautiful, and when you run into people in the street, because you don't ever think that they're real. You just think that these people are just your local guys, that just your celebrities. And just sitting here with you truly is, I'm starstruck. So thank you for sharing this time with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be with you.
I have a little question that I always ask my guests, and it kind of gives me a little idea of who they are.
All right.
It's a very personal question.
Uh-oh.
A little more personal than politics itself.
Okay.
Who is your number one pop diva?
Ooh, see, now that's tough. Does pop have to mean pop?
No. When I mean pop, I mean popular diva.
Okay.
Someone that everyone at home would know.
Okay. So, my heart says I want to say Dolly, but if I'm going to truth tell, I love Dolly, by the way. She's on my list of people I want to interview before I retire. I got to say Tina Turner.
Okay. Wow.
Tina Turner. In fact, I was jamming to some Tina Turner on my way in today. And as an 80s girl, growing up in the 80s, private dancer. I don't know if you're even familiar with this because I'm a lot older than you. But when she was up there shaking her thing with those legs and that hair and that skirt, I can still see it in my brain. And it's an indelible image for me.
And she is, her voice.
Oh, yeah.
Her energy.
Oh, yeah.
The way she just gives herself to the audience. I am so happy that you said.
Really?
Yes. I love Tina. What's love got to do with it? I sit in my car and jam to it.
We don't need another hero. I mean, that can go really hot, loud in my car, and I'm yelling it. Because I think I can sing. I cannot. Well, I can.
You can.
It just may not be good. But in a car,
nobody knows
Lady
you.
Gaga's got nothing on me. Barbra Streisand, nothing. Now, that would be another one, too.
Barbie. Yes, Barbra Streisand. Would you know?
But I'm sticking with Tina.
Tina, great. Little side note on Barbra Streisand. Did you know that she is so close to an EGOT? Except she does have a Tony.
She does.
But it's a honorary Tony. So some people think.
What did she get an honorary Tony for?
I'm not sure, but some people think that she is not actually an EGOT winner because she essentially.
So she's sort of like EGOT asterisk?
Yes.
Well, I think that's EGOT adjacent is good. I mean, I'll take it.
I mean, that's a lot more than I have.
The talent that she has, woo.
Yes.
Insane.
Well, now I understand why. Are you aware that you are a gay icon here in the Cincinnati community?
I am.
And your answer just solidified that part that you just said, Tina Turner. I think Tina Turner, as well as Dolly Parton and Barbra Streisand, all three of them have been such a pioneers in gay movement. And I don't mean it in go protest, just taking the gays under their wing and making them feel that they were accepted. So I understand why so many gays in the community are always glorifying you. So.
I feel pretty good about that. By the way, like, are you a Schitt's Creek person?
I am not, but she says she's gone.
This is where we part ways. But like, you know, Tina Turner played a big role, her music in that show, which is a show that my husband and I kind of watch on repeat.
Oh.
So, and I love it whenever her songs show up in there, and I think, okay. And I feel like Schitt's Creek was sort of not that it was gay forward, it was just like everyone forward. We don't care what you are, which was wonderful.
Which it's the message of it all.
Yeah.
So I love that you love Tina, and I love your love for really, like, you are the first woman to be on the show, or
Am I really?
You're the first woman, as well as the first non LGBT person. So I love that.
I am straight. That is fact.
Yeah, but there was I'm like, is she going to say like Jason Aldean? I don't know. I'm not going to be able to, like, not that he's a bad, but
No.
I'm like, I'm not going to be able to relate. But you just solidify why you're such a gay icon within the city.
I feel very honored by that.
We
That's
should
pretty cool.
We should start a petition to get you on the Pride Parade. Have you ever been?
I have.
Wow.
I took my gay son to his first Pride Parade.
Wow.
We
love that.
That is fact. Yes. And he didn't want to go.
He did not.
No, and I said, well, you're going with me. And so we went together.
I love that. Thank you for being a supportive mom. In name of all of the gays watching, not to get sentimental or anything, because this really is just a fun, but I can really just say from the bottom of my heart and all of the gays watching, thank you for being a supportive mom, because not everyone at home gets to be that lucky. So thank you.
Well, I thank you for saying that. I just think I love my child. I don't care. I just want them to be happy,
right,
no matter what. Happy and healthy. I'm good.
Yes, I love that. We love that. It's all about you make your own decisions. You live your own life.
I don't want to know what happens when you shut the door. Just tell me you're happy and healthy.
Exactly. We love to hear that.
Close the door.
We love to hear that.
I'm not saying close the closet. I'm saying close the door.
Just the door. Keep
Just
the door
the door.
closet. Keep the closet door open. Yes, we love that.
You knew what I was trying to say.
Yes. So you have been on television for 29 years.
Gosh, that sounds like a long time, doesn't it?
It does, but it's really not that long.
Okay.
Like, it is, but...
Have you been alive 29 years?
I have, yes.
Okay, barely.
No, a little more. Okay. I'm 36.
All right.
Yeah, I'm 36.
That's a good age. 36 is a good age.
This is the youngest, the best our body will ever look. So we always have to appreciate it.
Yeah, and you're hitting your stride financially. Everything's good in your life.
But I think and this just comes from me being 36, but I think every age is beautiful and has to be celebrated.
I totally agree with that. And in fact, not to get derailed what we were just talking about, as a woman, as I was, every year I remember thinking back, I don't remember the person I was the year before, especially in my 20s and 30s. And I thought when I hit my 40s, I'm going to be old. No, it was the best. And then when I hit my 50s, I thought, oh, this is going to be bad. I never went through a period of misery. I was just like, yeah, let's just keep going.
My grandpa used to have a saying that he can't really tell you exactly what he said, but the meaning behind it was, if I were to be 20-year-old again, as stupid as I was, I'll stay right where I am. So there is knowledge that only time teaches you.
I agree. And you know what? We should all be grateful that we get to be the age that we are.
Yes, not everyone makes it.
Not everyone makes it.
And not everyone makes it to TV 29 years.
29 years. That's a lot.
29 years. Well, I have a little question for you that someone sent me. You might actually know him. Let me find this little question for you.
Oh, dear.
Do you remember Mr. Clyde Gray?
Oh, I love Clyde Gray. He's my favorite.
We all love him. Well, he sent a little question for you.
Clyde Gray did?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So here goes. You spent most of it, if not all of your career, in one community, your hometown.
Yes.
Looking back on it, was it a blessing, a curse, or a mixed bag to do so? Did you ever want to try broadcasting in another city?
So I never really wanted to rise to Chicago or New York or anything like that. I grew up in Finneytown. I don't know if you know where Finneytown is.
Yes.
Right? It's a little tiny bedroom community. And my goal from a young age was to be the main anchor at a TV station in Cincinnati.
Wow.
And I reached that goal. And not many people can say that. And I always loved this community. I always loved my city, and I thought I want to raise my family. I had such a wonderful childhood that I thought I want to raise my family in Cincinnati. So this all worked out great for me. So I've never looked back and regretted that at all. I worked for 1 year as a reporter in Knoxville, Tennessee, right out of college. And I loved Knoxville. I thought it was wonderful, but I wanted to come home. Cincinnati is my home, and I've never really had that desire to go past. So go back to the question, was there something I did not answer in there?
No, I think you got it all. Was it a blessing, a curse, or a mixed bag?
It was an absolute blessing. In fact, I think I've had one of the most blessed careers in television because I was able to, I didn't work. Okay, so I was a reporter, I had kids, and then like actually one time I left my oldest son at daycare. I forgot about him because I was stuck out on a crime scene. This little girl was killed. Oh. And so, and that's when I was like, oh, I need to step away from TV. So I left for public relations for a couple of years, and then I came back. And when I came back as an anchor, I was a weekend anchor, Saturday and Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. And my youngest son, Quinn, was, newly born, so he was about a year old. And so I was raising Liam and Quinn. And until Quinn went to all-day kindergarten, I just worked 2 days a week as an anchor. And then I went Monday through Friday, dayside. So I got up with them, got them off to school, and then got home and had dinner with them, which was great. And then when they got to high school is when I went to the night side. So I went to the 11 o'clock news. And so it worked out beautifully for me. I got to stay in my hometown, accomplish my goals, and I got to be the mom I wanted to be, or like as much of the mom as I wanted to be. I think everyone looks back and go, I wish I could have done this better or that better. But I got to do career and mom, and that was good.
I love that answer. I really resonate with that answer of Cincinnati and your hometown is such a beautiful city.
It is, isn't it?
It's filled with diversity in a way that people don't realize it.
I don't think it gets the credit it deserves.
It does not. It took me 10 years of living away from the city and coming back to realize how lively it is, how many creative people are here, wonderful people. The food scene, it's great. And every single time anyone ever tries to tell me something negative about Cincinnati, I'm like, well, you're not making it any better by wearing that outfit. Come on, put on a better outfit. If you want the city to be fabulous, you need to step it up and
be fabulous in it and make it fabulous. I think Cincinnati outpunches its weight. We hear that phrase a lot, but I think it does. If you think about the arts, the sports, the entertainment, you mentioned culinary, you think about the housing stock. It is not expensive to live in Cincinnati. It is a fantastic place, and it offers you the ballet, the opera, incredible museums. But you don't have to deal with hours in cars driving everywhere, and it's the biggest little city or the littlest big city.
You feel so, how many people can say that you can go to a soccer game and the next day go to the Taylor Swift concert?
Yep.
While the Reds are playing next door.
Right, and maybe stop by and check out a great museum at the same time and have a wonderful brunch.
Yes.
Come on, brunch scene. It's good.
Oh, it's delicious. It's wonderful. I love a good Sunday fun day. It's really a great city. So I love that. And thank you for just making it such a part of everyday's life that you have been on. And
I love this city, except January and February.
But we're out.
We're
it's
gone.
March.
We've blossomed into spring now.
Yes. I woke up and I was like, I am a new person.
The sun is shining. I can see it.
I am a brand new person. Now, let's talk about you being a woman in the industry.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about how does it affect you when you talk about growing up and being and having the career that few people dream of.
Right.
Everyone that goes to school for this.
Yeah, you go to J school, you think, oh, I want to be this, but you may not get there.
We look at you and we're like, that's what we want. So
I have been lucky.
Very lucky. And to have your family here, and it's a very lucky career and very successful career that you've had.
Thank you.
How do you feel that as a woman navigating it all? How does it been?
Okay, well, let me just start with, fun fact, I'm a tomboy. Okay, so the idea that I have to do my hair every day, makeup, and have to look nice, including wear dresses, that is a foreign concept to the inner me. It has become me. I have learned to love that version of me, but honestly, I would be my knees would be covered in dirt and I would be planting something right now, or, painting something, or I would, I'm very much a tomboy or really homebody kind of person. So the idea that like we women in television really do face, there are some advantages.
Of course.
But you really have to, we are challenged with so much more, I believe, than men, especially from a physique standpoint, from our outfits, from our hair, our makeup. There's so many more variables that we have to think about all the time that my counterparts, who I think are wonderful guys, they don't matter. Doesn't matter to them in the slightest. So they're just from that standpoint alone, it can be quite challenging actually. You really have, it's become rote to me, which probably is bad, but I feel like I'm always thinking in the back, my back of my brain is always thinking through, what am I wearing? How am I looking? Don't eat that. Don't do that. Sit ups. I'm worried right now. Like, am I too squished back, or should I be sitting forward? Right? Should I kick off my shoes and then like sit with my legs crossed so that I can be more casual with you? I think all the time about posture and how. And I don't even know if that's answering your question, but but it really is.
No, it is.
It really is what I think about. And I guarantee you, if you went to my closet, have you ever been in my closet?
I have not been in your closet.
Are
no.
you sure?
No, I have not been. I
there
want to.
There are reasons that you might have been in my closet.
If you let me, I would love to.
Oh, you should do a tour of my closet.
Well, first of all, not to interrupt you, but when you were saying that you were a tomboy and you don't like dressing up, I was going to say, I'll take those Dior shoes you got on. I don't know how I'll put them on, but I'll take them.
I will say I like nice things. And so I have accepted, and I've grown to become a girl, like in that sense. I've grown to become like, I love purses now, and I love good shoes, and I do like to look, I like a tailored look, or I like to wear a nice dress. I also, I don't mind mixing in like a little fast, inexpensive fashion with, something a little more upscale. I love it all. I do. And I've become more conscious of fashion and choices that I'm making are becoming more about me versus what I think I'm supposed to wear. Like on television, it used to be that I was, when you're first starting out, you get told to cut your hair. And so, you would cut your hair, at least back in the day, and you would have to, because you wanted to look older. So that people thought that you were more respectable because you're older. And you were told to dress like a woman in business. And so you would wear like these kind of pantsuits. I'm wearing a pantsuit, I recognize, but they were different. Like it might have been a skirt and it was ill-fitting, bad clothing, right? And then there's a phase where we had to have like big hair, big lashes, really tight dresses.
The early 2000s.
You recall.
Yes.
They're still around, by the way. And I recently have kind of gone, I don't want to do that anymore. I am like leaning more into, I like pantsuits, I like blazers, I want to wear a top with pants, I'll wear a great pencil skirt with the top or a sweater or something like that. I will wear a dress, especially depending on what's going on in the world. And I will wear a dress because like it's okay to wear a dress, but mostly I don't like doing it as much anymore. Partly because it's really cold in our studio and I don't like being cold, but that's not who I am anymore. And I feel like I'm kind of embracing the best version of me on television now from a clothing standpoint. And I am pretty sure I have gotten so far off track on that one.
No, I actually have a very interesting point, and not to agree with you, but it is called a culture clash after all. But I don't know if you are also aware that after being on television for so many decades, you have a privilege that you are no longer have to wear skin tight dresses to get that role because your experience, your professionalism, your career speaks for itself.
Well, I hope people would trust me at this point. I think that is part of the deal, that I couldn't have gone this long or stayed this long if people didn't have trust that I'm telling you the truth, which is a hard thing for people to believe sometimes, and that I've got your interest at heart, and that Cincinnati's interest at heart, and that I'm just trying to give you the information in kind of an unvarnished way. So hopefully that is true. And I've never thought of it that way. I appreciate that, really, because if you think about, if I have, maybe I just didn't realize it and I started doing it. But it's not that I don't care. It's that I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care if that's what you desperately need me to look like. Well, I'm not going to.
But I think the audience have also understood, like, she's not here just to be pretty. Yeah. And a lot of the times women on television, it's like, before we find out what you're made of, we need to find out whether you're pretty, whether you're presentable on television.
Well, and I think that has been, like, for the longest, for decades and decades and decades, women on television has been, they have to be pretty and look good and then trustworthy. I think that shouldn't always be the case. You know, I think you do need to look presentable.
Of course.
You know, but I will say, like, more and more, you're finding, like, there really isn't a dress code to television as much anymore. You know, reporters or whatever wear T-shirts and, you know, a quarter zip or something like that. They're out in the field and they're not wearing suits and as much anymore. Kind of like our culture has gone from a less formal business attire to a much more casual business attire. I don't like all of that, honestly. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, dress for the thing. If you're out on you're marching out with protesters, you don't want to be in a business suit. That looks stupid. You need to look appropriate. But if you're in a studio, I think you need to look appropriate. I don't think that means you have to wear a skin-tight dress anymore.
I agree. And that just talks about how fashion has really evolved and changes within the time. Because like you said, you no longer need to have someone in a suit to be giving you the stories for you to find them to be credible or whatnot. But I think that as a generation and a society, we also have lost a little bit of that. I hate getting on a plane and seeing yoga pants and sweatpants. I'm like, come on.
It used to be a thing, right? You dressed to go on a plane. Yeah. I still like to look nice when I travel. Do I always hit the mark? I don't think so. But if I'm going to go international, I am going to try. I mean, I will map that sucker out. Yes. I am ready to go.
Same.
You should see. I am so proud of myself when I travel for long trips because I pick like a 3-color palette. Do you do this?
No. Tell us about it.
So like, okay, I might be going, am I going to do navy or black? It's sort of a decision, right?
For the whole vacation.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So then I go, okay, then am I going to go white, gray, navy, white, gray, black, white, navy, black? Like what is going to be my 3 main color things? I'm going to mix in a couple different things. Like, I want a green sweater because we're going to be in Ireland or something like that, or I want to wear this really hot dress that's hot pink. Fine, but for like the day in, day out, so that everything is sort of like garanimals, interchangeable, and that can look chic, but not. But I don't have to pack a lot. So I really work on like the fundamental pieces.
That is such gaze. So that you don't have to pay for Frontier Airlines anymore. Those baggage fees are crazy. That's a good tip.
The bummer is the shoes.
Yeah, those are yeah. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say I miss, but I was in a time when people dressed up and people went to dinner and had formal dinners.
Like it.
You know, I also love being at home in sweatpants. Does Tanya go out, like, let's say you go grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. You're obviously presentable. Would we ever catch you in sweats?
Yeah.
Like just out on the street, like.
Yeah. In fact, I will tell you, fun fact. If it is Sunday, for example, it is summer or spring or fall, and I have been out picking weeds all day long. I maybe have not taken a shower that day. My hair is sort of like here, and I still have dirt on my knees, and my husband's like, hey, we really need some. I'll be like, I'll run to the market and get it. 100% of the time, someone will be like, oh my God, I love you so much. I mean, I could walk in like this, no one says a word to me.
It's always like that.
But it's always like that. I'm like, ooh, I look terrible. I might smell right now. It's really true.
People still love it.
But I do that. However, because I do try to like, okay. And I have a son who kind of beats me into submission over like, you need to change your purses. You need to change your jewelry often. You need to change your your footwear so that you can't use the same purse every day, Mom. And so he has forced me to like really think through. Like today when I got up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear this and this and this. And then I'm like, I need to change my bag. And so I stood there be in front of a mirror with 2 different bags. This one, this one, this one, this one.
Would my son approve it?
Which one will my son approve? And he approved the one I brought.
See?
He didn't know the one I didn't bring, but.
And that is why you're a gay icon. We love that.
Because I'm bullied by my gay son?
No, because you care about it. You do it for the girls and the gays. We always say we do it for the girls and the gays.
Yeah, well.
Do you love being recognized out on the street?
No.
You don't?
I don't care. I mean, like, look, let me rephrase that. I am very happy to talk to anyone. I'll take photos. I have no problem with someone coming to talk to me. That is never a problem for me. I don't care. I would rather you do it than just point it, like, whisper at me, because I'm like, dude, I forget what I do for a living. I don't think that people will know who I am. I have no reason. I will walk into someplace not thinking at all about it. And so I would rather someone come up to me and say, like, hi, I know you, or whatever. And so I can say hello instead of being like, why is that person like looking at me? Because I have no idea that they're actually thinking, oh, that usually I feel like people come up to me and say, did we go to high school together? And I'm like, no. No. But, so how do I know you? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't want to say. One time I said, well, I'm on TV. And they said, no, you cut my hair. My sister owns a hair salon. And so I was so embarrassed. I'm like, no, I'm not Renee. But that's my sister's name. So what I'm saying is I don't mind, but I don't live for it.
You don't do your job for that.
No, I don't care.
You don't care to be a celebrity.
I don't. I really, really don't. And I know lots of people who their identity is that. Yeah. And I think they're wonderful people. That is not who I am. Now, I won't lie to you. If I tomorrow walk away from this industry, will I have to take like double clutch and go, that's going to change? Yeah, but would it stop me? No. Yeah.
I mean, and a free appetizer here and there never hurt nobody.
No one's doing that.
Please do. If Tanya ever comes to my restaurant, I'm sending her at least an appetizer. So please do. Okay. please do. That's a good segment on to asking something about people who do it for the fame. And sometimes through social media, I'm sure that it has affected the news in a tremendous way. Mm-hmm. But how do you feel about nowadays with people that can just pop up a camera and a microphone, including myself?
Yeah.
And just...
Look what we're doing here.
Yeah. I mean, once again, not to put the job of anyone down, but journalists and people that were on television really went to school, really burned their lashes to study to be able to be where they are. Yeah. How do you feel about influencers and social media way?
I really, listen, citizen journalists, that's what we are now, right? I mean, I'm a dying breed. Let's be honest about that. And I would hazard a guess that 99% of the people who watch this do not get their news watching TV at 6 o'clock at night.
I agree.
They don't. They're getting it on their phone. They're swiping through. It's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's X, it's whatever. And so my industry is fractured. Like, people still watch the news. They do. But it is, it's just dramatically different. And it used to be that that's what people did. They came home, they turned on the TV, they watched the 6 o'clock news to find out what happened that day. They did other things, and then at 11 o'clock, they watched the news and they went to bed. Well, now we have Netflix and YouTube TV and all these other things so that your TV show doesn't lead you into an 11 o'clock newscast. Your series you're watching, White Lotus, doesn't end exactly at 11 o'clock. It's ending at 10:53 or 11:41 or whatever. So then you're just like, go to bed.
And I mean, not to like get all, I'm not a doctor by any means, but that routine, I used to be the kid who would wake up and every morning in the background while I was getting ready, it was the news. Yeah.
Today's Show, Good Morning America, something like that, radio.
You were watching to see if your school was closed.
Sure.
You were
watching. You don't have to anymore.
You don't.
No.
And now I ask my nephews, and they're like, "Oh, we just get a text."
Yeah, it's gonna text.
Yeah, and
plus, if they call us off, we just go online. We do,
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I feel about influencers? I wish I were one. Let's be fair. I wish I were an influencer. That is a lot of work. I don't have time for that. If I had time for it, I would do it. I'm not allowed to do it, by the way. I'm not allowed to go, I got this suit, isn't it pretty? So it feels really good on. And, when I turn around, I can't do that.
You can't.
I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to sell any product. I'm not allowed to, make money from that stuff. But more power to you, because that is where it's happening. And if you can sit there and cobble together all those videos, if you are willing to spend that time and that energy and hashtag your life away and do all the follow-up work, that is work. You are doing it. Now, do I think that you are a big J journalist? Maybe not. I mean, you're an influencer. You're talking about fashion, which is a really important thing. Now, you might be a fashion journalist. That's different. But I'm talking about like a news journalist, like someone who is telling you that right now what's happening is that there's a standoff on East McMicken Road and, police are outside. And that, there are certain people who are doing that, and they're doing that really well, and more power to them. What I hope is that people understand that I am hold myself. I cannot answer for anyone else, but I hold myself to the standard that I will give both sides of the story. I will tell you what is happening factually. I will try never, and I mean never, to let my bias creep into adjectives that are used. I take away adjectives and stories that other people write for me because I'm like, nope, we can't use that adjective. That's a biased adjective. Wow. And so, I really try to do that. That is something that I don't know that citizen journalists will or are doing. Maybe they are. There are some really, really good ones out there. So I think that maybe they are. But I think that I can't stop influencers. So why not embrace it? They're great. People doing podcasts like that, like you are, you're breaking the mold. You're part of this new shattering generation that is just, the dynamic has just changed. And so if you can't beat it, join it. And I say more power to all of you because you're the future, not me.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very nice. That's a very beautiful way to put it. I think at the end of the day, the cream will rise to the top. And regardless of what you're doing, there is much, much respect for journalism. It's understanding that you're not doing that job. What you do, I could never in a million years do.
You don't think so?
I am too biased.
Okay.
I am full of opinions, and I just know I will not be good at that. I will be great at judging a red carpet. I will thrive on that. You
can be like, hemline bad.
Yes, I can talk about dresses.
I can do that too.
Yes.
But that's not what I do.
But you are able to go on to the area where this is my job, this is my professionalism, and you understand that.
And, well, listen, and that's one thing, like this, I know this is a fashion thing, so I don't want to get heavy, but everyone out there, do not just watch news that you agree with, because that is not healthy. And unfortunately, that's where we are. More and more, that's all we're getting. And that's what people want, is I just want to listen to what I want to hear. And the reason that I still exist, that WCPO exists, is because we have to tell you sometimes things you don't necessarily know you needed to hear. And sometimes, like we don't give opinion, we give you information. And so hopefully, people will recognize at some point they need that. Not just like, yep, totally agree with that. That is straight up. I love that. I love that. I love that. No, you may not love everything we're saying. You may not think it's all valuable, but we have a service to the community. And I think that's important.
Yeah, and now we just all get on TikTok or social media. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but and this happens with my parents a lot, that they'll give me this news that I'm like, no. And it's, dumb news, like celebrity news. And I'm like, no, that person is fine. Like killing people and things like that news that are just, like I said, anyone can just get in there and pop up a camera and a microphone and say that they're a journalist and they're giving you news. I'm not a journalist. I'm not giving you news. I am just gossiping with you. That's all we do. We
But I love that you just gossip. That's fun.
Yes. We are here to, I always say, like, this is a safe space where we can just talk. And usually we will talk about pop culture, but having you here, I mean, the girls are eager.
I don't want to bore your audience.
No,
I feel
listen,
like
they're all eager to find out little things about you.
What do you want to know?
Okay, let's get into because I could really sit here with you for 3 hours and talk about news and all that.
Okay.
But let's talk about gay stuff.
Okay.
Who picks your outfits?
I do.
Do you get a monthly allowance?
No.
No.
I used to. I
You
used to
used to.
get a yearly allowance. They did away with that, I'm going to say like 10 years ago. But at the time, it was pretty sizable for this market. It was about $5,000.
Okay.
I outspent it always.
Yeah.
5, 7 grand, something like that a year. They just eventually said, we don't want to do that. We just want to, we'll move that into your salary, basically. So
Got
we'll
it.
just up your salary a little.
Okay.
So I probably spend way too much money on clothing and accessories than I should, but I do. Now, not everything I have is like super expensive, for sure. In fact, often clothes on TV, more inexpensive fabrics look better.
Oh. Good to know that.
Truth hurts.
Good to
This
know
is the
that.
truth, is that, you need a little structure on TV. I love a great silk blouse, but a mic pulls it all down, right?
And it's just not going to work.
You need something to hold the microphone and things like that. Like you have to wear an IFB and a pack and all this stuff. So sometimes it's helpful to have a waistband or a belt, or like in the winter, boots, because you can slide it onto that. Because otherwise you're sticking it in your bra. It's not fun.
The not so glamorous side of being on TV.
It is. I will tell you this, guys. It is not glamorous. I mean, it's not the glamour that you think it is. Tell me what you think is glamorous. I'll shoot it down for you.
I mean, we love to see it. We love that every time you are on the news, every time you're on TV, like you just look so pretty and your hair is done, makeup is
Thanks.
done.
That's so nice.
And I know,
I don't have lipstick on right now. I'm sorry.
no, you look perfect. But that's what we all see. I've been behind the cameras once or twice, and I
Yep.
know that it's a mad fest. And it's so funny because everyone's yelling, and it's like, we're live.
Yeah.
And
Stand
it's
by.
dead
Stand
silent.
by.
Like, we're just, but who does your hair? Like, do you get a saying in this? Are you not allowed to change your hair color? What are the rules for like all of those things?
I do my hair.
You do your own hair
I do my makeup.
and your own makeup right before you get there.
Yeah. Nope. I go into work. I don't even carry. At home, I have a little bit of makeup. At work, I have like blah makeup. And so, in fact, I don't even put it away Monday through Friday anymore. It just sits out. And I'm sort of like, maybe that's a diva move. I'm really sorry to everyone I work with, but I'm sort of like, look, I got to use it every day. It's just staying out. On
just
Friday,
sits
I'll put
there.
it away. And then they can clean it up. But I do my own hair, do my own makeup. Yes, they used to tell you what to do, what to wear, all that stuff. I used to not be able to change my hair. Like if I wanted to cut, go from here to here, I would have to go to them, present them with a photograph and say like, hey, I really want to cut my hair. And they would almost always say no. And a lot of that is because they have image campaigns and things like that. And they don't want to have to go and change it. So if I'm going from dark brown to brown with heavy highlights or something, they're going to go, no, because you're not going to match what we have on TV. And the theory used to be that you needed to look kind of the same every day. We were here not to distract. My earrings should not be distracting. This is probably the wildest outfit I have because it has a little pattern, window pane in it, right? My closet looks like Garanimals. It's all solid colors, pretty much, because it's like you are not there to distract people. You're there to inform. So your makeup, your hair, your jewelry, your clothing should not be distracting. It should be professional, clean, and just like you kind of fade into the background. That has changed quite dramatically. So now they don't tell me boo anymore. And it's not because I've done this for a long time. Something happened a handful of years ago when natural hair became a thing, right? At least I can only speak for where I work. But when like natural hair became a thing, you can't tell people how to do their hair now. Because once you tell this person you can do whatever you want with your hair, how do you tell you? Well, no, you can't do that. You can't cut your hair. You can't, look, I would be respectful. I wouldn't change my hair dramatically because I do understand that they have promotional campaigns. And because I'm on almost all of them, I'm not going to do that to them. But for example, you see men with facial hair on TV now. That was a no-no before. Well, you can't say no to that anymore because you have opened that door. That Pandora's box is open and it's not closing. And so people have mustaches, beards. Women can have curly hair. They can have whatever they want. It doesn't matter.
It wasn't like that back
then. It wasn't like that. And it used to be you would have an image consultant who would come in and basically carry the water for the people above, like the managers, right? That didn't like that outfit, didn't like your hair, thought your makeup was off or whatever. So the image consultant would come in and go, we're going to not wear that anymore. Okay, honey, you don't look good in that. Let's have you wear that, get rid of all that. And we're going to fix this hair. And you know what? You don't look good with peach. You'd look better with a peach lip versus this lip. And they'd go through your makeup and they would throw out and put in new. And they would show you new like things to do. But that doesn't happen as much anymore. But I think it's really and I'm guessing here, so don't get me fired over this. But I think it's really an HR thing now. Like, they're not going to come up to, and I'm just going to say me. I don't imagine at this point they would come up to me and say, we really don't like that lip color on you. Or I literally, this happened to me where I got off the air. I was doing the noon show at the time, so it was a long time ago. And my boss came up to me and said, never wear that ever again. Go home, change out of it, and never wear it again. Because someone called him and said, we hate that outfit. Someone from, on high. And I went home and I took that off. And in fact, one time he came to me and says, the news director from many, many years ago, and said, I was wearing a brown suit, like a dark brown suit. So in right now, right? It's been in.
Yes.
You won't catch me dead in it. Because he said, don't ever wear that color on air ever again. And I was like, okay. I mean, this happened. It would happen. It doesn't happen. I haven't had someone come to me and tell me what to wear or how to look in forever. And I think it is because this revolution, in my opinion, that's what happened, is that they said, well, we've opened Pandora's box. We can no longer tell people anything anymore. We might get sued if we do. We're not going to do that.
So I have a few points.
Okay. Give them to me.
9 out of 10, the person coming in to help you with the styling and telling you
the consultant.
Yes, 9 out of 10, that was a gay man.
No.
Really?
Never. Not in my opinion. Not in my experience.
I could have sworn it would have been a sister coming in like, girl, you're not wearing that.
It was always a woman.
Oh.
And they always tried to make you into something you're not. I have extremely straight hair. Like, if there's a little movement in my hair, it's because I put it in there and it has long since left. Like, I have just wickedly straight hair. They always wanted me to have curl in my hair, right? They always want you to have bigger hair, curl in your hair. My hair never looks the same day one to day two. It just doesn't. I can't make it. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I don't feel it. Like today, I didn't feel like curling my hair. I wanted it to be more straight. So I didn't do that. And, but they always want you to look different than you actually look, right? Instead of enhancing your beauty, I always found they were trying to transform you.
Tone it down,
amp you up.
Oh.
It was like, this is what, cream with a little brown in it, like a nutbag?
Yeah.
Never would I be allowed to have worn this. It was jewel tones. I mean, where all like red, emerald green, royal blue, pink, hot pink, anything like that. Like, it's all like wear big color, big hair, big lashes, big makeup, big lips, the whole thing. I feel like we're more in a natural phase right now. Like, like we're not getting granola on anyone.
No, we're not going in there.
But we're allowed to wear, I don't know if we're allowed to, but I do.
Leave women alone on the news. In fact, those people should be telling those men that are balding to put on a wig, and leave these women alone telling them to put on a curl. Because men don't ever get told. Everyone on television that I have grown up watching, I'm not going to say any names, but all the men are balding, and not once do they get told.
Okay, right?
Go put on a wig. Go put on another suit. They wear the same suit. I can never tell you.
My co-anchor, Craig Mickey, he will not be mad, I don't think, that I'm telling the story. When we were in COVID, I had to go to the studio every day. So I was one of the 3 or 4 people that went into this gigantic building every day. Everyone else had home studios. I am still salty about this because I love being home more than I love being anywhere else in the world. And so for 14 months, I went to work in heels and the whole deal, tottering around in a dress.
Geez.
And he was home. The weather guy was home. And so we would do this kind of virtual newscast. It was not. I don't think it was the best television on earth. For 14 months, he came in when he finally came back to the studio. They were finally allowed to come back together. He's like, I'm going to tell you something. Well, number one, they were wearing gym shorts at home because they were in their basement and you couldn't see anything from
here up.
And he goes, I wore the same suit jacket every day. And I was like, audible gasp from the audience, audible gasp.
Yes. And no one noticed it.
No one noticed. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I wore the same suit jacket, different shirt, different tie. He goes, I just took it off, put it on the chair, went upstairs, went to bed, came back downstairs the next day, put it on.
In gym shorts.
Gym shorts, sweatpants, whatever.
Well,
here I am. I was raging.
Oh, I raging too. Wow.
I was like, come on. And here I am buying an inordinate amount of clothing, walking around in stilettos, which I don't do as much anymore, I admit. But like walking around in heels and dresses and putting on Spanx and the whole deal. By the way, yes, everyone should wear Spanx.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I don't, but...
Or something like Spanx.
Yes, I am huge on helping my friends get ready, and they'll love Spanx. Just ties you up and keeps... Yeah, just puts you right where you need to be.
Everything where it should be.
Yes.
Where it used to be.
Have you ever had like an incident, like an embarrassed incident, like either your wardrobe or like somewhere going south, where you're like, oh my God, I wish the earth would just open up?
I'm sure I have. I just can't think of it right now.
No.
But I mean, like on air, I hate to say it, like I'm broader and I'm a little heavier chested. And so I used to really struggle with button-up shirts.
Making sure that they stay.
Because if I should sit and they pull. So I'm sure that they pulled away on occasion that was not great.
But if you can't remember, then nothing crazy.
Nothing was dramatic like that I can recall. But I remember feeling like uncomfortable. Like I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, where you just felt like...
I felt like I was constantly like...
Yeah. We've all been there.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've all been there where you're like, is this right? But the show must go on.
Yeah, you just got to make the best of it. You just got to make the best of it. It is what it is. Like, I don't care what happens. I mean, there's been times when you're wearing like maybe a black suit and you got something on, you're just like, give me a Sharpie, and you're filling it. You mean like you just got to do what you got to do.
Or that you have pins in the back, like holding you.
Clothing pins. I've had all kinds of stuff holding the back of my jacket. Did you see what like David Muir got kind of ripped on for having his jacket cinched at the wildfires?
Like, what did they expect?
I'm like, this is television, people.
You got to look good.
This is what it is. And
this is what it is.
And it's a medium that, whether it's right or wrong, people want you to look appropriate and good.
But if we as audience got to see all of the crazy things that happen behind the scenes, and the magic would be gone.
I think so. We bring people in the studio all the time. They come in. You can come in anytime. And it, behind the scenes, we've got our drink. It's like, it looks like a desk, but behind it, it's like kind of like a hollow. We call it kind of an IKEA desk because the way I don't know. And sometimes I'm wearing, if it's cold, I have my Uggs on, or my slippers, if they're not showing my feet that day.
If you're not, yeah.
If they're showing my feet, I have footwear at my desk that, should I need to have footwear that's appropriate, I will have it.
I'm sure that you have seen, watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
I mean, not all the time, but yes.
But okay, well, every time RuPaul comes out, she has on a beautiful gown. Mm-hmm. But every single dress, if you watch it, it's convertible. Because apparently, the rumors are that he always sits behind the desk in sweatpants and Uggs.
I mean,
and she has this whole bustier wig hair,
looking great.
Yes,
underneath, living large.
So it's a big thing that RuPaul.
Well, even Oprah back in the day talked about how she didn't come out she came out in her heels, but until that moment she was in flip flops or whatever. She wasn't.
They're exhausting.
They're
to be
horrible.
Sitting on them.
And I appreciate everyone who wants to dress and drag, but why you want to wear heels? I don't understand this.
You're already 7 feet tall.
You're very tall, and also, ouch. Like, I used to love a great stiletto, though.
Oh.
But my poor body's like, no, thank you anymore. No, thank you. I'm down to like, is this a kitten heel? Would you call that kitten?
That's a good kitten, but they're very trendy nowadays.
Thank God. I think they are because I'm the one buying them. I don't know.
Like, how fashion goes? It like goes up and down.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you remember these were very trendy in the early 2000s.
Yeah, okay.
The very kitten heels. But no, hear me out, because how like trend goes. Then like we moved on from the early kitten heels of early 2000 to the extreme high heels.
Right.
Lady Gaga type of.
Yes, was stacked
Yes.
too. Like, so you were standing already on an inch and a half,
The
2
platform.
inches. The platform,
Yes.
thank you.
And then after that, as fashion always goes, it always goes up and down. So now we have moved on to kitten heels.
How do you feel about ballet flats?
I like them.
Do you?
Yeah. There's a time and place for everything.
Okay.
Never, ever.
I've never, ever owned a pair of ballet flats.
I think there's a time and place for everything. Never, ever. I always tell someone, like, don't ever let someone tell you not to wear something.
Okay.
If that is how you feel the most beautiful, then that's what you wear.
So there's nothing that's a no for you?
Nothing.
Really?
Your son and I always joke about skinny jeans and how we hate seeing our friends in skinny jeans. And we both agree that there's a time and place for a skinny jean.
Listen, you can hate on skinny jeans, but sometimes you're right. It just is the right look.
You're going to agree with me. A skinny jean and a woman in a stiletto.
There's nothing that can beat it.
Nothing. It is 2016, red bottom, super skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, I would say throw like a man's Oxford on her.
Yeah. That's
Great
all.
belt, you got it. Big hair.
Big hair, always. But the thing about gays is that they're always talking about like, oh, well, women need to make sure that they wear, work those heels. Half of them put them on and we look like chickens walking around like that.
It's hard to walk in these things. They really are.
They are.
Like death sticks. I don't know.
They're
like you're
beautiful.
gonna twist your ankle. Like try doing that in Paris. That's hard.
Yeah. But
I challenge you all.
beauty is pain. How many pair of shoes does Tanya own?
I've not counted them. I've not counted them. My husband would tell you way too many. Like he owns like 6 pairs of shoes. And it's hysterical. You look at our closet. He's a very straight guy. This closet, right, is this big. And I get this much of it. He gets this much.
Of course.
And he could pack all of it up in 2 handfuls. Like,
Can't relate.
no, you can't.
No.
And so I have a lot. I have a lot of shoes. Not all of them are like, wow, great shoes. But I have a ton of shoes. Bins of shoes. Would that be fair to say? Bins of shoes.
We love that. We love that. Is there a special shoe that you're like, if my house was on fire, I'll grab that and leave?
I have Dior, not these Dior's. I have a Dior pair of heels that I would grab 100%. I have, I love my Gucci slides. Like I don't know what they're, mules.
Okay, yes, I know exactly which ones. The furry ones?
No, they're not furry.
Okay.
They're just black.
The furry ones get nasty. After people walk in the snow with them.
I don't think that,
like, no.
I think your foot sweats a lot.
Yeah.
Like, why would we do that?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you do your own. Shoes that I would run. I did needlepoint my own shoes, which I think are pretty awesome. So because I spent so much time and money on them, those come with
You're
me.
grabbing those.
There are probably a handful of other. I have some Jimmy Choos I would grab, and then we're done.
I love how the question was a pair of shoes. And you said, I'm grabbing 6.
Give me.
And I hope that those pairs of shoes, you're grabbing them after your Emmys, because we're not going to go.
You know what? Can I tell you?
Tell me.
My son knows this. I don't care about my Emmys.
Well, I do, and I have been at your. I have been at
my
your
house.
I have been at your house.
Do you know where they are?
Yes, I have put my hands on it and manifested.
you have?
Yes.
So at my house, my Emmys are kind of on the highest shelf in the most. You wouldn't even know they're there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I clocked them. I noticed them.
Okay. And I think they're great, and I'm proud of them. But my dad always told me, because he had Emmys, and he always, they were mixed in with my soccer trophies, whatever. And I always said, Dad, this is really cool. And he's like, that's a snapshot in time. That is one moment of excellence. Be excellent every day. Wow. So while I love having those Emmys, I also know that it's a judge too. So I think I've done incredible work that has never gotten an Emmy. And I think I've done really good work that's gotten an Emmy. But
Wow.
I know that every single one of those is just a moment in time. It's not my lifetime achievement.
That's very deep. Ooh. Very, very, but maybe I won't care for an Emmy once I have one.
You'll get one.
For sure. It's, life is great, and like you said, it is nothing but just a symbol of what you do.
It is. But if it's a symbol that you want and it's something that you can strive for and it keeps you motivated, go for it. Be happy, whatever that is. And I mean, I'm happy I have Emmys. If I did not have one, would I want one? I would.
Yeah.
I really would. Yeah. I'm not this, I can act like I'm this big person. Oh, I don't need an Emmy. No, I don't need one, but I'm glad I have them.
Yeah.
And so, I'm proud of them. I'm not that person. Like, you don't walk in my house and see photos of me everywhere. I used to work with someone who had like a giant photo of them over
Don't talk about me.
Over their fireplace.
If you can
Would you
see
do
me.
That? See, this is art. This is not like someone took a photo of you and it's an 11 by 14 over your fireplace.
I thought about it. No, I'm kidding. I thought about it. No, I'm kidding.
That's just not me. I'm not that person.
Yeah. Well, just know that sometimes, like you said, you forget, I have Emmys. But it's such an accomplishment. And
Thank you.
know that when I walked into your house, not that I didn't know your career or not that I didn't have any respect, but then I saw the Emmys and I was like, ooh. Ooh. It's like that boy who takes you on a date and promises you the world and suddenly he gives you the world. You're like, oh.
I hope you find that boy.
Boys, man.
Boys.
I could honestly talk to you for hours and hours. In fact, I wanted to talk to you about how you got into your career, but there's just so much.
Did we run out of time?
No, we still have a little time.
All right, what do you want to know?
How does someone get your job? Say someone that is watching right now and that Cincinnati girl growing up in Finneytown is thinking, I want to be the main.
So I think it's everything has changed so much, but I think that you just are consistent and good. So you go you mean how do you get into it at all? So you don't have to have a journalism degree to do television. You just don't. You can be an English major, history major, doesn't matter. You just have to have a heart for it. I tell people all the time who are like, I want to be an anchor. I'm like, well, do you love news? Do you live for news? When something is happening, you hear a siren, are you like, what's happening? What's going on? If there's something happening in the world, maybe you get a notification from Twitter that are you like, ooh, I got to turn on CNN and see what's happening? Are you glued to the Pope's health? I'm glued to the Pope's health right now. He's finally seemingly out of the woods for now, but I'm glued to this. I want to know every day what's happening with the Pope. So if you cannot let that stuff go, if it's kind of inside of you, then number one, you're on the right track. And number two, then you got to find a foot in the door somehow. Once you get that foot in the door, and I mean, I went to every news director in town and said, I will sweep your floors, I don't care, I want a job. And I got one. And I was the lowest man on that totem pole, I did the worst jobs. And I just my boss told me at that moment, he was the best boss I ever had, and he said, this is a meritocracy. You do the job you have well, and the next one will come along. And I did. And he was true to his word. And I worked my way up. And when I thought that I could not go any further, I left. And I went into public relations. And then they brought me back. And I kept working my way up. They brought me back in a higher position. And because sometimes when you're in somewhere where they know you too well, they take you for granted.
Of course.
And they think, well, this is who this person is. They can't go any further. They're always going to be the fill in the blank. Well, if you know you're more than that, then go do that somewhere else. And then they'll be like, oh, we want to bring that person back in a different position. Or go show them what you can do somewhere else. So unfortunately, in this industry, you tend to have to move a lot. I've been very lucky. I've done it in one city, but in my own city, which is great. But you have to kind of bounce around. I got to go to this little town, then 2 years here in that town. But it is moving so much faster now where you can You don't have to, bounce around to 3 different tiny markets before you get a chance. You might bounce around to 2 little markets, and then suddenly you're in Cincinnati or wherever, and maybe the main anchor gets sick, or has bad Botox and has to be out for a couple weeks, and you get to fill in. Take the opportunities, fill in, work harder than everybody else. You'll get there.
I love that. And it's all about consistency.
It really is.
Everything always. It truly is, and I don't really mean to I don't want to kiss your ass or be that person. You say, go ahead. I love flowers. Come on. To just be sitting here, we really appreciate you coming in and supporting this project.
I think it's fun. I've been watching, and I love it. And I love that you are taking this big step.
It's all about taking the first step.
Do you think that was the hardest, was actually saying, okay, I want to do it, and I want to do it now?
Yes. It's always, what are people going to think? And then this idea of, well, you look at this big picture, right. And then it's kind of like, it's a marathon, and you're like, how am I going to run 26.2 miles? That's insane.
Yeah. 1 mile at a time.
Not even 1 mile. It's about one step at a time. So it's taking that. We always get stressed about guests, making sure they have everything, and that I want to give them the experience, but it's understanding that you have to take steps, you have to get there. And this is really, really stupid, but I always tell myself, it took Kim Kardashian 16 seasons to be on the cover of Vogue. We're just on the first season.
You're just on the first season. You're just how many episodes in?
This will be our 7th episode. Yes, okay. Our 7th episode.
So how proud are you? The first one got so many clicks. And then the next one, maybe it grew a little bit. It was, it's every time. And every time you put yourself out there, you're exposing yourself to new and wonderful people. And the more and the more and the more that you do, the better you're going to get at this. You're already good at it. You know you're good at it. And that's the thing, right? You know inside, I got this. I just got to do it.
My God, that's like the Pope telling you you're such a good Catholic. I feel so good about it.
Are you a good Catholic? I'm not a Pope. So.
I grew up Catholic. Yeah. And I have been keeping up with the health of the Pope, the very first Latin American Pope.
Yeah.
Very progressive Pope.
Yes, he is. I've liked Francis. I thought he was very cool.
Yeah. Again, I don't talk politics or religion, but to have such a Pope that was so progressive. And a lot of people can criticize, oh, it wasn't progressive enough. I'm like, have you been Catholic?
Yeah. I think he was pretty progressive.
Yes, for the time. And it's beautiful to see the progression. It's sad that he is in this. Speaking of health and celebrities and high profile people, have you been keeping up with the Wendy Williams situation?
What is happening to poor Wendy? This is very sad.
Very sad.
Now, what do you believe? Do you believe her side, or do you believe the narrative out there that, she's really got frontal lobe damage and issues?
Oh, I believe Wendy 100%.
You believe Wendy?
100%.
Really?
Yes.
Why? What makes you go they're holding her hostage in this room?
I think that it comes down to that of a woman becoming so big, so powerful. She has such a voice that it's just
how in the world can someone strip someone who has that much power? To me, it's always, it blows my mind, because I think, could you be caught in that crazy vortex where you're no, you guys have to listen to me. I'm telling you the truth, and no one believes you?
That would be crazy.
You believe her.
I believe her. Well, and we always say oh, that will never be me. I will never be caught in this situation, right? But the way she got into this whole situation was right after her divorce. And I've never been divorced. I am not a woman, but I have heard that the most devastating time for a woman is a divorce. It feels like a death. So to me, it's people just got right in there in her most vulnerable time.
Yeah.
They knew that she had a pot of gold, and I believe that she was taking advantage of.
Does greed, to me, so then that's greed. Is it greed and power, or is it just greed?
Greed and power. It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. And I also have heard that Wendy knew a lot of insights within the industry.
Like P. Diddy stuff?
The P. Diddy situation.
I really want that stuff to come out.
I have watched interviews with her where she won't even talk about P. Diddy.
Really?
Where she will like scare away. Well, she'll make comments because you know she's always been very shady, but very like she wanted to talk, but she was like, I can't talk because I know too much. I don't know if you saw the interview.
Now the P Did is in a jail cell, so he
Yes.
really can't do it. I mean, I guess he can, but
Powerful people will do a lot of things from jail.
so like Jeffrey Epstein and P Diddy, those two things, I want all the details right
Everything.
now. I don't care. I'll plow through the documents. Give them all to me.
I'll sit right there with you.
Yep.
I will bring you a
And I'll be
bottle.
like, oh my gosh, did you
Yes.
see Section 145? This will be great. Like,
In your closet.
Yes.
With a bottle of champagne.
you got it.
Yes.
There's plenty of room. Don't
You-
worry.
You can read it while I just go through your heels.
You can go through my heels and be like, these are ratchet, get rid of them.
Boom,
Because
toss.
there are ratchet stuff in there.
But don't throw them away. Again, they always come back. Fashion is a cycle.
So, I know. So, like, I struggle with this, like, with handbags. Because, like, I'm just got rid of a couple handbags that my son okayed for me to get rid of.
Okay.
I'm almost regretting it, and I just dropped them off.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, like, was that foolish to get rid of something that maybe I'll use that in the future? But also, I don't want to be a hoarder.
That's true. Because sometimes you're just like, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to keep this. But then it's not bad to keep a little storage unit with little things like that.
I don't have a storage. Okay, I'm never going to have a storage unit. Because if I have a storage unit, we got issues. We have big issues. No storage units.
That's good.
At least I have. My house is not a big house, but I have enough room in my
Where
house
you can-
that there are storage units in my house.
Where you can have bins
they're
of
called-
shoes.
I have the the alternate season closet in the basement, along with bins. You know, I also have like 8 different sizes. I've been. You know, like men are lucky. You don't change sizes often.
We don't.
We do. This is not fun. It's not a fun experience, especially living that one out on TV. Try being pregnant on TV.
Oh, wow. How many times have you been pregnant?
Those.
Twice. And both times you were on TV.
Actually, only one. And that child was rough on me. And I flew up like a balloon. Like my nose was this big. It was gross. I was gross.
Word on the street, he's still a troublemaker.
The worst pregnancy, worst delivery.
Wow.
He was always trouble from the start. It
Wow.
was always trouble.
Oh, must be a good baby.
Yeah.
And now he's making you get rid of purses.
Well, he tells me I can't get rid of certain purses.
Okay.
Because
that's
he's like,
good.
no, those are mine. In fact, if I die, my husband's deeply concerned that if I die without like a will expressly saying what jewelry, handbags, and other items go to certain people, that he will sneak in the dead of night and just take everything. And he's like, I know everything that you own. Is that a little terrifying?
No. See, God did not send you a daughter, but he sent you a gay man that will appreciate the things that you have. I'm the same way with my mom.
Are you?
She still has purses that I gifted her in high school that I like got money together for like gifts, and she won't get rid of those.
Aww.
Now she has a niece now, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, she does not get those purses.
This sounds so familiar. I've said like my nieces are starting to get to be like 18 and 21. I'm like, when the oldest turns 21, I want to start giving her little pieces of jewelry. And he's like, I have to approve it. I'm like, it's a ring that is fixed my pinky. It'll never even fit the top of your pinky.
Well, and here's the worst part. It's my niece. It's my mom's granddaughter. So my mom is like, oh, this is...
You're not allowing her to give it to you.
No. She can get a few things. She can get them from me when I die. So then there you go. But these are just...
See, I only have boys. So I have to give these things to someone. Who's going to wear all this stuff?
You don't understand the love that gay men, at least for me, and I have talked to your son, and I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. Watching my mom get ready for an event when I was little was a religious experience.
Really?
Does
she love to get dressed up?
Oh, yes. There are boys who will go and watch their dad with
Shave
their
and
cars
all that, yeah.
and shave. I was always mesmerized every time we would go to a party and my mom would go to the hair salon, and I would beg my mom to just let me sit there and watch her get her hair and makeup done.
Tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay.
Yes, and then she still doubted it. I'm like, girl, come on. And then we would go back to the house. I remember one time I got a little drunk with her. She doesn't really drink, but I do. So I get a little wine drunk. And I was naming every dress that she had worn to weddings, quinceañeras. And she was like, I don't even remember that dress. I'm like, yes. I'm like, do you remember that purple velvet dress that you wore to this and this? And she was like, yeah, why do you know that? You were 6. And it is engraved in my mind.
Really? See, I don't think my son is like that. But he does, like, I do lean on him for, like, advice on things like, should I wear this or this, this or this? Yeah. Or I really need a great outfit. I got to look good. And he'll come over and sort of, because he'll look at my clothes differently than I look at my clothes. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I always wear that with that. And he's like, no, this with this. And I'm like, oh.
It's a different outfit.
It's a different outfit. He likes certain bags. He's like, he wants me to be more quiet luxury. So, fine. I'm leaning more that direction. He wants me to be more power suits. Okay, fine. I've actually 2 gay men in my life who have sort of told me, I want you to lean more power suits. I'm like, I'm into that because I like pants. And I like the structure. And so I'm fine with that. My friend Ron, who tells, like, I was getting ready for an interview with a potential, like, someone running for governor. I said, what should I wear? And this is not a political statement in any way, but he said, I want you to look at the First Lady's portrait. And it was, my son had also mentioned recently, like, I want you to start channeling her vibe, her current look. And I'm like, I really like that look. I can do that. So I did. I absolutely, you can pull, I'll show you a picture of it.
I would not talk about the First Lady, but I will talk about Melania's fashion, and it is chef kiss.
Right?
Chef kiss.
I think that she is really...
Yes. And again, this is not a comment on our First Lady. This is a comment on New Yorker socialite whose fashion it is exquisite.
I'm okay with being girly. I am girly a lot sometimes now. Like now I used to not like any sparkles at all. I've gotten a little more sparkly as my life has gone on. I've gotten a little, embraced pink in certain ways. Like I have gotten a little more chicky, even though I'm a tomboy at heart.
Well, you had a gay son, you had to.
Well, it is a requirement, I believe.
Yes, it is. Tanya, I could sit here for hours and hours talking about your life, your amazing career, what you have done to the city, the culture, the community that you have created. I speak not only for myself, but for the entire city. Thank you for being such a legend. We say that word very, very loosely lately, but you are a legend in this community. People in the industry, we look up to you.
Thank you.
One day we can hope to at least have 1 Emmy.
You're going to have an Emmy. Don't you worry.
I am frustrated with the Emmy. Oh my God.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful. So fun.
It was so much fun. You guys follow Tanya. We're going to put her Instagram handle so that way you can follow her and keep up with her. She has a beautiful life, a beautiful job, beautiful sons.
Beautiful sons.
Yes. And make sure you guys subscribe.
One would say he's more beautiful than the other.
Well, let me guess, the gay one. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Make sure that you guys subscribe. Make sure that you guys like everything, the whole deal. Thank you again. Happy Friday. And Tanya, thank you again so much. You guys have a beautiful weekend. Don't drink and drive. Oh, thank you so much.
Did I talk about nothingness for...